I'm better than you, and you know
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I am one half of Dynamic Duo Twisted alongside Brother Pyro.
Welcome, guys.
And we do apologize for not getting out our normal recap for our WWE. We have been having some really crappy technical difficulties on our end, and we're doing our best to make sure that we, find ways to publish this out to you guys because, we love doing this. We know you guys love hearing us, otherwise you wouldn't still be tuning in the way that you do. But we're going to do our best to try and make sure that hopefully this recording site that we're now on actually works the way that it should, and hopefully we can get things out to you, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we are covering AEW Wrestledream. Are you excited for this overall?
Dash?
I mean, I personally, you know me, I don't really watch AEW a ton because of Baby Crossroads already being so overstimulated when it comes to the amount of wrestling that we watch in the house. So it is kind of hard for me to know piece by piece how we get here. However, we are here, we are ready. I'm just going to start us because you know a bit more about the next match than I do.
Fair enough.
All right. So AEW International Championship, Will Ospreay defends against Ricochet and Takeshita. This, more or less from what you had told me, comes because Ospreay and Ricochet kind of went back at it. They ended in a double pin.
Match got restarted,
and Takeshita came out and was like, yeah, no, attack. So that's more or less how we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at our predictions, we are kind of all over the place. However, me, Desario, and Hex have all chosen Ospreay to retain the championship.
2 pay-per-views in a row.
I know. It's still weird, but Lou, you have chosen Ricochet. Your reasonings in a minute, and then Cauldron to get. Ricochet.
I think it's just something new, and honestly, as much as I love Ospreay, we know where his focus really should be.
But...
And, again, even with this match being what it is, one, it's going to be really fun to watch. Because these three are amazing talents.
I think it'll be absolutely beautiful.
I also don't see it being Ospreay that takes the pin if he does. Regardless of how this match ends.
You don't see him obviously taking the pins, though. In your aspect, you see Takeshita taking the pin, taking out.
Yep. And if he manages to win, it'll be Ospreay taking though.
Yeah, more or less. I kind of get where you're going with that. All right, into our next fresco, because we do have a lot to cover within this.
AEW World Tag Team titles, your EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson,
the Young Bucks,
take on Private Party. They really did a good job of this is, wow, why can I not remember their names?
And it's okay.
But Private Party wanting to be taken more seriously, really looking to finally hit the top of the mountain, so to speak. So they challenge the Bucks, and they played into, 5 years ago, going into crowning the initial tag team champion. We had a tournament, Private Party eliminating the Young Bucks in said tournament. Playing into that back history, looking at where we're at now, and giving us all
kind of an exact reasoning as to why, hey, we should actually be in the title picture next.
We've beaten you before. I think we can do it again. So let's get it.
Okay. Predictions?
Predictions, it's the unanimous one. The Young Bucks are keeping the gold. I don't see any reason as to why we would have them drop it anyway. Plus, it's the Young Bucks. They're the bosses. They have something up their sleeve.
Yeah, they're going to find a way to win this. one of the questions I wanted to ask you about this is, I know just like me, you kind of disliked this current Bucks title reign. Is there a reason why you didn't go with the opposite team? Is it because they need more credibility? Are they not good in the ring? Like, what's their profession take on it?
They're phenomenal in the ring. I think they have the credibility. Again, it's just we're looking at the Young Bucks. It's the Young Bucks.
It's because of the higher standard.
Exactly. It's because of who they are, where they're at. Like, this is what's going to happen.
I mean, this is why I ask kind of your professionalism, quote unquote, especially when it comes to
again,
you've been watching since they debut.
They haven't given us any reason as to why it should be the Bucks dropping the title. I love Private Party. I don't think they've really helped build into
the
championship.
Okay.
Into a championship only because, again, they're so on and off with the company, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll see them for a short burst.
And then again.
Do we forget that they exist? And then here's another short burst. And then they're gone again, whether it be injury or just crap booking.
So they're essentially jobbers. Taking to
more or less. And it sucks because, again, both guys are actually stupid talented.
Okay. All right. Going into our next match, speaking of with the EVPs, we have the TNT Championship. Jack Ferry defends against Shibata.
Jack Ferry?
I'll keep it. You know what? I ain't even...
That is legit what you said, Jack Ferry.
Yep. You know what? We're going to keep it. Because, screw you, Jack Ferry. Going with our predictions, two of us had chosen Shibata, me and Cauldron, actually, whereas the rest have gone Jack Perry for this one. You had said that this kind of started because Shibata came.
Shibata issued the challenge.
Yeah.
Perry was like,
I don't know what's up to you. I could see it.
And then, like, 5 minutes later, attacked him in the legs. But again, this is one of those I don't see why they have not given us a viable reasoning to have Jack Perry drop this title at any point. He just lost his he just lost his match for the world title.
Yes.
Last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Was that last weekend? 2 weeks ago.
2 weekends.
Okay. So it's honestly, I don't see why they would have him now drop the TNT title just to have him do nothing, be the only member of the Elite with no gold.
I mean,
I think
because then he challenges for something else, like the international title.
I mean, it really just, it doesn't make sense.
I just don't want to see Jack Perry with the championship. That's kind of the reasoning for going against him.
And why? Because it is. I'm actually liking Scapegoat Perry, and I'm not mad with his title run right now.
I can't stand this version of Jack Perry personally, and I'm more like heel side than I am face side with a lot of things.
Honestly, though, would you rather this, or would you rather what we had, this time last year with him, where he really wasn't... His biggest feud was with Christian Cage over his dead father. Do we really want babyface Jack Perry? That level babyface?
No, I don't want that level of babyface.
Okay, because those are where we're at right now. Like, it's either we were going to have that or we have this.
Oh, whatever. All right, take us into our next match.
AEW Women's World Title, Mariah May, Willow Nightingale. This really just comes from Willow Nightingale kind of standing up for a few of the women in the locker room, as Mariah May has taken to some very devious tendencies and has attacked certain people, and really not showing that even though she is a world champion, showing she really has no respect for the women's division that she is the face of.
No.
Willow Nightingale not really being a big fan of that. Is like, no, I want your world title, and I
want your head on a pike.
Look, either you're going to show us respect, or I'm gonna beat some into you.
regardless of how this match goes, I know we'll get into predictions in a second, but regardless of how this match goes, I hope that Willow does beats at least some respect into her, because even as like heel champion, they still have a certain level of respect to the women in the locker room. Like, they may think that they're top shit, but they still have that level of respect of, I'm gonna, still kind of in a way kiss the ground of the women before me. But she seems to have nothing. It's like she's God's gift to the women's division. That's just kind of like what I have seen in bits and pieces.
You hit it right on the head, Bob.
It's
Like,
kind
that
of,
is exactly where we're at. She thinks she is God's gift to wrestling
yeah, no,
as women's champion.
she's not.
She thinks she's the best thing in the world since, sliced bread.
But Betty White's older than sliced bread. Or
You said Betty White is dead.
Betty White was older than sliced bread. So, all right then. Take us into our predictions.
Going into our predictions, you, me, and Desario have Mariah May, because
No,
makes sense.
yeah, no viable reason.
Heads and Cauldron have Willow. I think they just need a bigger opponent. No disrespect to Willow.
Mhm.
She has done a lot with her career. She has held a lot of gold. She has an established name. But, let's really be honest with ourselves as wrestling.
So, who do you say eventually does take the 10 off of Mariah May? Other than Timeless Tony Storm, because I could see that happen.
I was going to say, I see that being a comeback. What was the little Asian friend? Why can't I remember her name?
Why do I want to call her Marina or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see them maybe.
say it.
No.
Put me down who I think it is.
Building slowly.
Slowly.
Building Mercedes into the world title picture.
At that point, she'd either have 3 titles by the end of that, or she'd have to drop the other 2. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to see Mercedes with all the championship gold.
Anyway,
into our next match, because ew.
but yeah, no. There's a strong list of women that I think would be viable in dethroning Mariah May, Willow Nightingale, and you or what.
I could see maybe, personally on my end, I could see maybe a returning Jamie Hayter working her way back up.
Yeah, oh my God.
Although I don't like the 60s, 70s outfits that she's been doing. I liked the darker colors on Jamie Hayter.
Fair enough.
And the darker hair that she used to have.
Yo, at some point,
I'd like to see Miss D&D back in the title picture.
well, if she wasn't injured or sick or whatever right now. Maybe.
It's all backstage issues currently, actually,
That
I have been reading about.
Yes, but when Tony Khan announced that she would be at Title Tuesday, you think he said it was because of an illness.
So here's not cold.
If somebody else I would love to see hold that women's world title, and might be an unpopular opinion, but can we get Serena Deeb in the world title picture, please? Because, that woman has worked her ass off for a couple freaking decades now, and is still not properly shown the respect she does.
Serena Deeb, is she the one with Moxley's group now?
No, that's Marina Shafir,
Okay.
but that woman can catch the title too at some point. A title at some point. You have the Women Ring of Honor title, you have the TNT title. Marina Shafir is a badass. No, Serena Deeb, and I'm going to bring this one back to a couple decades ago outside of AEW, because AEW wasn't even a twinkle in Tony Khan's eye. Straight Edge Society.
Oh, okay, her. Yeah. I got her a little confused on where she was and everything. So
Yeah, she.
and I hear that AEW is now going to be announcing women's tag team championships. Hopefully they're not as cursed in the first year or two like WWE's was.
There was. What? They still are. They still very much are.
I have yet to see anybody get injured again. Knock on wood.
Fair.
Oh,
No.
post losing the championship or having it around their waist, the last couple of people have not been injured.
Damage control. Somehow, somewhere, at least one member in that group has been injured since their title reign.
I meant that actually had the championships, like their names were with the plaque, like their things were on the plaque.
Damage control. Asuka was holding those titles. Asuka's currently injured.
Asuka was technically called as the Kabuki Warriors at that point. Even with damage control, they were called the Kabuki Warriors.
My point B.
I know exactly where you're going with this. You're just trying to prove me wrong in every aspect of the word. Okay, so shut up. Next match. ROH World Championship. Mark Briscoe takes on Chris Jericho. Jericho more or less laid out the open challenge, and Mark agreed to it after Jericho brought out his brought up his brother's name. May he rest in peace. Majority, actually all of us, I had to relook at that, are going for Briscoe. I don't want Jericho to have another championship. I guarantee you feel the same way. You just want him to go away.
So, because I'm gonna read Desario.
Oh, we love Desario's reasonings. Tell us what Desario said.
ROH title, taking Briscoe. Jericho needs to go away for a long while.
I agree.
He has, what is it known as? X-Pac heat, go away heat, we're bored of you heat.
Kalani Jordan heat? The way I feel about Kalani Jordan?
Kalani Jordan doesn't have that level of heat because nobody really cares. She'd have to have a reaction to have heat.
Yeah, I mean, facts.
So, yeah, no, Jericho can go, hasta la bye-bye, please disappear, fade into the background, bro. You have got 4 decades, all the accolades in the world. Go away.
We're done with you. Bye-bye.
You talk about wanting to elevate younger talent. The best way you could do that right now is getting the hell off my TV.
I wholeheartedly agree with this. Take us in on next match, sir.
Darby Allin versus Brody King.
Darby Allin was screwed. Darby Allin was screwed.
Darby Allin was screwed. Darby Allin was screwed. Justice for Darby. We want Darby. We want Darby. We want Darby.
Hashtag.
We want Darby. What the hell was the point in having him win the Battle Royal for the opportunity at the world title just to have him give it up and to lose it? Why give it to him in the first place? Of everybody you could have given it to, at that point you could have just rendered that whole Battle Royal useless and not needed, and we could have gone without having it if this is what the outcome was going to be.
I mean, I agree. Take us through our predictions. Try and get us off the Darby rail, because I know you're going to be angry about that all night while we're watching the match.
Yes, but there is no take us off the Darby rail, because we're talking about Darby Allin versus Brody King. Darby Allin, after losing his #1 contender spot to John freaking Moxley, who really should have been in this position.
Remember, Power.
Could have just given us the match. Bryan versus Darby would have been amazing. And then after that, you build Moxley into the world title picture for full time.
You could have easily had this match tonight. Moxley comes out at the end. If Darby doesn't pick up the win, we don't necessarily care there. And then attacks them.
And then full rhythm would be Moxley Bryan.
Would have set up everything perfect. Point.
But anyway, so, Darby Allin issues the open challenge after losing his shot at the title and makes and gets into it with Brody King. Brody King, obviously, not a big fan of that altercation. Here we are. Now we have the match 1-on-1. And all but Hex have chosen Darby Allin to pick up the win. Why? Because why build him to lose another match, especially after you've already kind of downgraded him from what was a really big moment and spot in his career?
I agree.
This match is a downgrade.
I agree.
This match isn't really needed. Granted, I think both men really need to do something, because when was the last time we heard of the House of Black, Brody King specifically, but really that faction as a whole, really doing much of freaking anything?
The last time they really did much of anything we had Julia Hart as TBS champion.
My point.
I was agreeing with you. I was helping your point. And then the only other time that anybody cared about them was the steel cage match between Malachi and Edge, and poof. Now that...
Pretty sure both of them are injured.
Yeah, well, now that one is more severely injured than the other, that entire storyline is just scrapped. Because you just had to jump off the top of the steel cage, didn't you? Adam Copeland.
God, ditch your man. Tell him to stop being stupid. He's too old for this. He's too old to be taking that many risks.
We need him around longer.
I already lost him prematurely once, and I cried for like 4 days.
We don't need it again. I don't need to be picking up the pieces from that.
We did the first time. We lost him due to retirement, forced retirement. I was like 12.
Okay. Anyways, into our next match, because we still have a couple more before our main event. Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White. This is more or less because Hangman took out Jay. Jay's looking for his
Pound of flesh.
Pound of flesh. Thank you for helping me actually with that, because I was blanking. For whatever reason, I wanted to say slice of cake. Same difference, though. It's just mine is sweeter.
It's not the same difference.
Hey, shut up.
Maybe. Shush.
Anywho, going into our predictions, everyone is against me and you. Picking Jay White to win this, me and you are going Hangman.
At this point, you literally have already given Hangman all of the momentum in the world. You had him go over with Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
You have had him pick up win after win. Since then.
So there's no point.
There is no point to cool him down, especially if you want us to take your booking styles seriously and this character seriously. That you can tell that they're probably going to position Swerve back into that world title picture at some point, so you got to keep this ball rolling. I love Jay White, and you know I love Jay White, because outside of Desario, I'm the only one in this group that knew who the hell he was before AEW.
Yes. I mean, aside from my little knowing into the Bullet Club that I went down when Valley was introduced.
When you went down the
little rabbit hole, yes.
You need to go back down that rabbit hole.
I will go back down there.
That is a rabbit hole you really need to spiral back down into, because you did not get down far enough.
I got down as far as I could go at the time. That's as many videos as they have on YouTube. So hopefully they have.
But no, Jay White, I love him. I love that he's come back. I don't think this is the right time.
Okay.
I don't think him going over would be the best or wisest decision for Tony Khan.
Take us into our next match.
I have no idea how we got here. The Beast Mordos hologram, 2 out of 3 falls. I'm gonna go straight into the predictions, because again, I have no idea how we got here. This will, because I don't really watch a lot of Collision, because I typically outwork on Saturday nights. So watching Collision, and then I just forget to go back. And I know Hologram has been featured a lot on Collision, never really on Dynamite. Unfortunate. I don't really know. I'm not really familiar with a lot of his work, truth be told. I know wrestling fans go into shock. I can hear the gasp around the foot.
You're all in.
Brother Pyro doesn't know who someone is. Like, okay, but let's be honest here. Aside from Desari, I have the next most knowledge within our
family,
our little Crossroads family.
Yes.
So, like, for me to say I'm not familiar with somebody's work, even a little bit, is
very shocking.
Almost impossible.
Yeah. All right. Prediction-wise?
Prediction-wise, you chose not to pick because you are not familiar with either. I am more familiar with the Beast Mortals, which is why I chose him, legit just familiarity. Everybody else chose Hologram. Desario thinks he's the second coming of Lou Fez, so we'll be looking out for how that works.
All right. I I know that we are also supposed to have Swerve on this. I didn't necessarily write it down because I don't know if he's just going to speak or have a match, but I think it's going to come right before the World Championship. If that does happen, if he's just even speaking, I think it's going to come before.
So you say it right before the world title.
I do.
I don't.
When do you think it would be?
Hangman.
Right before Hangman's match?
Right after.
Right after. Okay. I mean, either way.
It's either right after or somehow, for whatever reason, I think we open up the show with.
I'd be okay with any of the placements we just talked about.
I'd be okay with anywhere that he's on the card because that means we have.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We'll get into that later. All right. Main event, AEW World Championship. You can yell about this later, big brother. Bryan Danielson versus John. It really should have. Prediction-wise, we have Cauldron and Desario choosing Moxley. Everybody else is going Bryan Danielson. I want to know Desario's reasoning for going Moxley against Bryan for this.
He didn't give one.
I'm a little disappointed in you, Desario.
You gave me reasoning
For everything.
for pretty much everybody. With the exception of the International Championship, your reasoning was because why not?
Yeah.
But you didn't give me one for the biggest match on the card? The hell, man? I'm just pointed in you.
We don't usually get any for Hex or Cauldron, so I know we're going Bryan because we will think it's time to kick this back.
One, it's too soon to take the strap off of him. Two, you can continue the story this way because we already know Bryan's career path post-title is moving into retirement.
Moving into part-time into retirement, yeah.
So, Moxley does not go over. You continue this storyline because I'm pretty sure you can still get a lot out of it. He's talking about we tried things your way. Now I want to try things my way. Hey, we have actually slowly, if you have been watching, which you really haven't, when he came back, he said, this isn't your company anymore. Mm-hmm. It's your company no more. Cool. Now we have a lot of questions that don't have a lot of answers. Slowly but surely, we're starting to pick up on some answers.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that tonight gives us the biggest answer, and that is, who the hell are we doing this for, Mr. Moxley?
Moxley bought the company.
Plot twist, Shane McMahon.
I mean,
That's what the rumor mills have been saying, and that's what
I wish fan
said. I was saying fan theories have also suggested. I don't really think that that's the case. But I want to know what is going on. I want all of my answers.
What if it's not the son, but the dad?
I will give up AEW forever.
All right. You've heard it here.
No, like straight up, Vincent Kennedy McMahon needs to stay as far away from the world of professional wrestling as humanly possible at this point.
You realize
he gave us, do not get me wrong, without him, wrestling isn't what it is today. And for that, I will forever love and thank him for.
But aside from that.
But he needs to never touch pro wrestling again.
When you look at this entire match card, if we ever have Vince and Kennedy McMahon running AEW, 90% of these men we don't ever see again.
Hologram is out the door. Jay White gone. Hangman, you might have a chance. Allen's completely forgotten. Willow Nightingale, you might have a chance. Mark Briscoe, your two country, you're gone. Jack Perry and Shibata, hasta la bye-bye. Private Party,
hasta la bye-bye,
no longer exists. Ricochet, you're not even a title contender. Ospreay is completely forgotten, and Takeshita goes back to Japan. Oh yeah, and let's not forget that the Owen Hart Foundation
goes bye-bye.
is partnered with AEW. If Vince McMahon were to ever at some point be involved, and again, don't really ever see it happening.
No.
Martha is pulling the hell.
Why not?
Like, she is still 100% blaming him for her husband's death.
Oh, yeah. And another thing, Bryan Danielson retires early because the title would be pulled from him because Vince never believed in him. Remember? We had WrestleMania. We're lucky if Jon Moxley even gets the championship after that. Claudio Castagnoli will never touch a title. We watched how their reigns and how everything went when they were with WWE.
Let's see. Blackpool Combat Club just ceases to exist at this point.
Yep.
Marina Shafir might be the only saving grace.
Maybe. But anything with her in NXT?
That one wasn't our film. That one was Triple H. And honestly, at that point, NXT's women roster was just so stacked, it was kind of hard to figure out how to do anything with anybody.
All right. Well, with the main event all done, that does conclude AEW Wrestledream. Anything else you'd like to say before we get off air?
No. Well, enjoy the show.
Yep. Enjoy the show. Again, we hope that you're listening to this now and we actually got this out. We do apologize. Hopefully this new recording does work. So fingers crossed we see you in a post-show. If not, we do apologize. We're really trying on our technical difficulties here. But with that, we leave you. Laters.
Laters.